The Show Fixty Trash Wagon and the Oars Nemesis have been left at home. Need some elbow room, you know. We lost 24 crew, bringing our total up to 490. I could lose 49,000 more crew and be perfectly fine. I can always buy fuel from the Melnorme using my credits. There are more Rainbow Worlds out there, including one in Threadash Space I left behind, as I was sick of Threadash Space. Maybe I'll check back in at that Rainbow World when there's no more Threadash Space. Anyway, I'm stalling. I'm not looking forward to today's episode. Oh, boy. It's, it needs to be done. But I want to stress that I may remove my headset. Give you folks the dialogue and spare myself. Probably should have paused the game when I came in here. Wanted to double check my notes. Yeah, that seems fine. We'll use this jump gate. Takes us all the way up here. Now, there is a Rainbow World over here. The Silandro give 2 clues for Rainbow Worlds. One is this one over here, and then this one is so damn far away from them. That's great. But we're up here to find the keepers of the bomb and interface with them. We don't have a homeworld location. So we're just gonna mosey on in this direction. We'll see who we can meet. Yeah. Again, we got plenty of time, you know? No rush. Hello? Anyone here? Let's check into the system. Anyone here to provide me some guidance? Wanna come have a chat? Someone? Anyone? Well, we'll take a brief look at that ring over there. Actually, what is that world? I mean, that's a treasure world I just flew past. What is this world? I don't recognize that coloration. Humor me, will you? Oh, Xenolithic world, okay. Alright, neat, cool. Alright, no one here either. Yoo-hoo. No battle group encounters. I'm still keeping the storage bay along just for storytelling roleplay purposes. We obviously do not need any more resource units. How about here? We got any friends? No friends. Looks the planet up there. Well, why don't we... It looks like it's going to be disappointing. Yeah, it's going to be disappointing. I was looking at that planet. Well, I mean... No, I mean, that looked like a sapphire world, right? Yeah, uh-huh. Come on. Each exotic orb is 25 show fixty. Right. 1 unit of exotics is 25 show fixty. See these superfluids? That's so many crew. That's so many. Alright. Let's get out of here. I wasn't here to do exotic looting, but I fell into it. Loot Goblin, okay? Shut up, you don't know me. We're here to meet people. There we go. How's it going? Stay strong, Grimith. Stay strong. Keep the faith, brother.
I suppose as a courtesy I should extend an appropriate greeting. On behalf of the Utwig Proctors, I truly hope for your sake that your day has been better than ours, although this really isn't saying that much.
I had looked away from my monitor to unmute the microphone and then saw out of the corner of my eye. What the hell? Yeah, yeah, the eye thing. Okay. So there's a lot going on here, and I'm digging the HD MEGAMOD vibe aesthetic. It very much fits in with these bastards. This is Captain Grimith representing the United Federation of Worlds. Please respond.
What good would that do? I mean, why should we? We agonized for hours, wondering if it was a cruel twist of fate or simply a serious case of butterfingery. The lifetimes that have been spent in the pursuit of the elusive answer to this deceptively simple question has driven many of us down the dark road of self-destruction. Indeed, even as these words strike the ears of any who care to listen, the real question is, does it matter? I cannot say. I wallow in a quandary, unable to determine what better atones for my part of the great sin. Should I engage in slow and painful self-termination? Should I commit myself to a long life of painful self-flagellation? Should I throw myself with enthusiastic verve at the problem of collective annihilation? I do not know. Even now, my mind writhes in anguish of indecision, lest the outcome be inadequate.
This brand of alien species could and should have stayed in Starflight 2. Against my better judgment, I detect that recent events have not gone your way. Why don't you start at the beginning?
All right, I'll try. But you know, it really doesn't matter. After all, we have a famous bootwig saying, when one loses the reason for existence, one tends to get less motivated. This goes hand in hand with the painfully appropriate credo, we broke it so we are paying for it. Of course, this isn't really accurate. The situation is so much more hideous. Imagine, if you can, holding within your hands the answer, only to have it taunt you with its former potential. Ah, cruel irony. The loss of the Ultron grieves us all.
There's gotta be a few adjustment knobs on the ship translator here. We have to be able to workshop the voice modulation. Yes, of course, the Ultron. We grieve. How sad. Now, what was it again?
Bah, it doesn't matter. Besides being of no concern to you, I find discussion of this matter, well, distasteful. The Ultron was not the only thing which assures total and complete meaning of life for you and I. It is universal. I'm sure that you two are aware of this thing, if only in legend. It granted us all limitless power and knowledge. It has been since, well, rendered inoperative.
You'd think that if a device granted you all limitless power and knowledge, you would use said limitless power and knowledge to realize how it could be rendered inoperative and fucking do something about it! Just because you busted your Ultra thingy, don't be a bunch of crybabies.
Yeah. Now you've really done it. Your blatant transgressions have me hopping mad. Hop, hop, hop. Okay, that's it. Put up your dukes. Nobody makes fun of the Ultron.
That's right, sure, in a combat situation. Fine. But we're doing this. Blow up the fucking ship. first game over we fucking had this series. I don't give a fuck. So... All right. I'm gonna need to head back there, I guess. One moment, please. That's the power of the Udwig Jugger. They've got potent maneuverability, top speed. Their primary attack, that fusillade of energy spears, doesn't do much to their energy bank, as you may have noticed. And their secondary fire is a shield, which excels against ships such as my flagship. Absorbing the high-powered shots and able to just keep that fire cranking. Yes, they are a hard counter for the Starluck. At least given the circumstance and situation of what transpired there. And also, I was willing to have them kill me and thus end the entire galaxy. Because I wanted to hurl a fucking insult. Because I was sick of them. But really, who's the one who had to suffer in traveling back here to get... Well, it's not exactly here. You'll see what happens when I exit this conversation. Yeah.
What?
Let's, skip through things. And then... That reminds me, when my pet dog Splib ran in front of a... rock chipper.
You are kind. If we could wield the Ultron to resurrect your Splib, we would. But I suddenly am overcome with waves of depression. I must retire now to perform rituals of anguish. Waves of trauma wash across my being even now. I must go.
So hey, Rainbow World. Let's have a look at that. Take a break before I slam my face back into this. Aww, here in a Gamma Aquarii. So beautiful, so majestic. Look at all these resource units. As a reminder, had I brought a swifter ship with me into that combat against the Jugger and then escaped it, that wouldn't actually get my flagship away from the combat. The flagship needs to get away from the combat in order to actually retreat. And well, you saw what happened. Howdy.
Just go away. Leave us to ponder our grief.
Do you know anything about the enslaving Ur-Quan?
We know nothing of this species that you mentioned. However, while we are on the subject of evil and powerful species, we have encountered a particularly gruesome race that seemed to come from the direction of Arcturus. When we hailed them, they responded with mighty weapons that sent our delegation to their deaths. Lucky fools. The aliens' dark, crusty battleships are capable of guiding spinning mines into almost any location. And should an enemy get too close, a fiery corona emerges to inflict fearsome damage. In our skirmishes with the race who called themselves the Ur-Quan, we found that by using our own shielding capability, we could sweep through the mines, absorb the corona, and then get close enough to the dark ships to give a lick of our own. In truth, however, they are very powerful and ruthless. When the Ur-Quan started to press toward our home world, we thought that our deserved punishment was being administered. But then, a mystery? They suddenly became disinterested and veered away. Bah, confounding frustration. With the Ultron, I could speak knowledgeably on this subject. To have this quality torn from our grasp emphasizes how meaningless our existence really is. This lack of meaning is what drives my species to the serious contemplation of a quick end.
Down that route leads you to the path of game over. I tried that earlier in this episode. You know what happened? I fucking came back to do more of this shit. So yeah, the Utwig detected the Korra from Arcturus, where the Korra exterminated the Brevixi. And the Juggers are capable of getting in there and destroying the Korra Marauders. But the Korra are vast and immensely powerful, and may very well have come to blow up the Utwig, but doctrinal conflict time. So what more do you know about them?
Your query once again painfully reminds me of the Ultron and what it was for the universe. I could tell you all and correct all that is wrong in the universe. All I can tell you is that the Korra live to kill. Their stated purpose is to seek out new life and new civilizations and then annihilate them. We seem to qualify as such, and that is why it is puzzling that after pursuing us with some tenacity, they suddenly turned away and headed toward Craterus. All this would be unnecessary if only we had saved the Ultron. It would not have taken much. A diving catch, a thrown pillow, even a fuzzy wumpus would have broken the fall satisfactorily. Indeed, a panel convened to analyze the possibilities concluded there were at least 623 ways that the Ultron could have been saved if we had been prepared. Let us cease our discussion concerning these matters.
A truly unique set of events put you in your current state. Am I right? Truly unique? I'm about to throw this damn captain of the wood chipper along with this series.
To say the least. Our past is one of a glorious and proud people, coupled with a cataclysm that rocks the universe to its very core. It all began when the chimps rose from the murky bog, and the Utwig emerged as well. In these primitive times, we cavorted about our world, oblivious to any sort of higher purpose. We took everything at face value. Meanwhile, the tendrils of the chimp infiltrated the vast sky canopies of Faz, and then the veils fell. Suddenly, the Utwig were stunned by a collective realization. All immediately and urgently donned veils of every description. Hides, leaves, shells, rocks, even living growls were donned in the early days. You see, the face is the mechanism that expresses many of the primitive qualities that hinder sentience. Now rid of constant reminders of greed, rage, hatred, and lust, the wisdom of the Utwig was no longer hampered by constant reminders of the primitive urge. Over many generations, mask etiquette was refined to a rock-solid foundation of our society. Sure, the morality riots were expensive, both in lives and infrastructure, but the result was better mask regulation. Specification from your basic mask of grueling but necessary activity to the most highly decorated countenance of stellar representation. These were clearly defined, recognizing the importance of flexibility. Clear-cut and efficient procedures for revision and redesign dealt with the few anomalies. From that moment, when we covered the source of our intellectual oppression, We knew that it was a grand purpose that defined our destiny. Are you still listening? Our entire development as a sentient species was coordinated to coincide with the appearance of a remarkable device, the Ur-Quan. We were oblivious to its tragic implications.
Alright, viewers, I am going to level with you. I had memory hold 95% of that. Like, what was just said. Like, I did not remember almost all of that. And so me hearing again was like, whoa! I said, incredible! And it's a little wonder why. This must be how the Vux feel in-game when they interact with humans. Because this interaction right here is like, if there were some other diplomat, like, you'd have to send them instead of me. If there were any other option. Because I can't do this one, chummer. I can't. Yeah, absolutely fascinating. But what exactly do you mean by tragic?
In order for you to truly understand the situation, you need to know more about the Ur-Quan and its unique capabilities. You see, when the Druge discovered the Ur-Quan, they knew that it was ours. The Druge were compelled by intrinsic universal direction to take it to where it has always belonged. They brought it to us. Oh, the Ur-Quan. It assured total and complete meaning of life for all, the universal. With the Ur-Quan in hand, I could sense not only your motivations and desires, but your purpose. I could act upon these things in ways that would most likely seem mysterious, if not, well, daft. Years later, you would herald our participation in your development as the turning point for your species. The Druge were only one of the few to benefit in this way. Even now, they are puzzled by the way we rewarded them for the delivery of the Ur-Quan to its correct place. In 24 years, 2 months, and 3 days, they will all dance the dance of jubilation. Indeed, the Ur-Quan has allowed us to fundamentally change the Druge forever. The Supox, too, received many benefits from our use of the Ur-Quan. They can testify to its power.
Now, I want you to reflect on everything the Melnorme said about the Ur-Quan and the Druge, and I want you to reflect on all of our experiences with the Druge. And you may say to me, as you prop up a straw man to countermand me, Grimith, clearly, everything that transpired was necessary. Because then the Druge had a rosy sphere to sell to you so that you could come up here and meet the Oakwig and repair the Ur-Quan so that you could befriend the Ur-Quan so that you could acquire a bomb to blow up the Sumatra and win the game, and then eventually the Druge will dance the dance of jubilation. And I'd say to you, go fuck yourself. Sounds like things were going pretty well, so what happened?
Yes, things were perfect. What happened is, well, it's difficult to talk about. But I saw it happen. I witnessed the Chin's-Ra celebration. I felt the Ur-Quan fill the empty place that I did not know was there. I saw the Grand Prompter pass it to, well, they say that the chief crew did not know that it was so heavy and slippery. Perhaps it was a combination of factors. Some who have reviewed the records claim it was actually a conspiracy. The commission investigation officially stated that the Ur-Quan was rendered inoperative by the fall to the ground. Yet many feel that the whole story has not yet been told. As it struck the ground, I saw its glow fade. And then the painful void incapacitated all. All Utwig immediately donned the mask of ultimate embarrassment and shame, with a vow to wear it forever. Bonfires all over Foz consumed all but this mask. No other mask was spared. The visage of ceremonial orations, in all of its contexts and revisions, as I'm sure you understand, all of the courting masks from the clever and intriguing veil of flirtatious prancing to the infamous lewd monocle, all consumed by the hungry flames. Even the most fundamental fixtures were committed to this irreversible fate. The mask of natural bodily excretions once hung in every lavatory. Most of the public facilities have removed the disposable mask dispensers, but every once in a while I still see such a repository, always empty. At that time, many suggested that we use the Precursor relic as a form of self-punishment. The proposal was that we collectively go to the second moon of the sixth planet of Zeta Hyades at coordinates 850.3 by 937.2 and use the ancient planeteering device to end our existence. After much discussion, we decided that we deserved to suffer. We can use the bomb if we ever decide the time is right. In the meantime, we atone for our grievous mistake with our collective misery. I suddenly sink into a chasm of depression. I suddenly sink into a chasm of depression. I must go.
Okay, I had pressed like the message log there because I wanted to see the printout again of Zeta Hyades, 6th planet, 2nd moon, handily throwing out the coordinates there too. Hint, hint, player. Zeta Hyades, 6 B, coordinates 850.3, 937.2. Alright, great. We'll keep that down. I gotta say, perhaps this is just my human sensibilities here, but if the Ultron made them all-knowing and so knowledgeable, I wonder if there was any faction that said, hey, maybe we were meant to break this at this moment. It was time. It was for a greater purpose, and, you know, this was the thing to do. It had to be done. We now don't know why, because it's broken, but we'll just play it along to see how the story goes. You know, it has been several years, I'm sure, and it's just, they are clearly beyond grieving into full-on self-hatred mode, and that's part of the reason I strongly dislike the Utwig. Like, you take out the voice, but I'd still have the dialogue. They're consumed with self-hatred, and for me, that's not escapism. For me, that was my life. Note was. And every now and then still is.
As do we. Go now with neither malice nor joy.
So they named their home planet Foz, but they didn't note where the homeworld was. They just noted where the super cool Zeta Hyades thing is. We do know their sphere of influence now. That's good. We know the Supok's homeworld? Or a squints. I must have missed that exact knowledge being shared. Huh. They didn't say where... Perhaps that's a glitch from the HD MEGAMOD? Not supposed to show that? but I am willing to concede at this moment. You don't have to, like, point out to me in the comments, like, this is where it happened. I'm willing to firmly state I may have been too focused on the messenger to absorb all of the messages. Zeta Hades is up there. That's not where their homeworld is located. Let's go have another talk with someone, I guess. Or drift into the planet. Yeah, I guess that works too. Hey. You have anything more to say?
Just go away. Leave us to ponder our grief. As do we.
Great. You know, this makes for an excellent end to the episode, joining this with the part where I game overed. We have absorbed Utwig interactions. We also had a rainbow world thrown in there for bonus. There's more of this. There is more of this. And if it's not abundantly clear to you, this is my least favorite alien species in the game. Everyone's had, like, their own, like, bone to pick, axe to grind with folks we've encountered thus far. Here we go. And guess what? I thought maybe with the passage of 14 years could have been different. It never was going to be different. Talk to you all later.